Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Today we have a special presentation where I'm going to go over the key Bitcoin top signals that can help us identify when we're at or near a top historically, what have been the signals and the metrics and the indicators to help us find that. We have a lot of people throwing out months of when the Bitcoin top cycle will be and why they think that. And then at the end of the show, I'm going to share the month that I think the Bitcoin top will be in based on all the data that I'm about to show to you. Okay, so before we do that, you know what I'm going to say, smash that like. This helps get this channel out to more people and does help support the channel, as does your wonderful comments that you leave in the comment section. Thank you so much. You take the time to write them. I take the time to read them. And those who ask questions, I do get back to those as soon as I am able to. However, if you'd like more immediate engagement, just check out where you can find me for that in the Stocks with Josh Discord. I'm in the crypto channel there daily, sharing and engaging with some of the most amazing people on the planet. There's a meme coin channel, stocks channel, all kinds of penny stocks, other traders, wonderful things. I've got my own crypto channel in there as well, my own Crown Traders channel, where I share education, insights, resources, some of the trade setups, and of course, entertainment, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment and education purposes only. Are you not entertained? And you can find that. Where can you find that? So glad you asked. Just below in the description. You might need to click the more button. Then it will pop out the descriptions. It's right up there at the top, and that's where you can get started. I'd love to see you in there, okay? Now, of course, we're going to jump into the Bitcoin top signals drum roll, not in any particular order or weight, although there is one that I'm going to be looking at more so than others. And we're going to see, we're going to look and see, okay, how are these Bitcoin top signals going? And also I'd love to hear what Bitcoin top signals you like to use if they're not in my list from today. I'm always looking to learn. Okay, so first of all, we're going to look at CryptoCon. And March 2025 is just around the corner, which is scheduled to be the first cycle top. Remember, last cycle we had two cycle tops, one in April, one in November. Most altcoins never recovered. That was their cycle top. Then Bitcoin topped at 65, went down to 28 or around there, and then went back up to 69 in November 2021. Now, a lot of people who weren't part of last cycle don't realize that altcoins meant most of them topped in April. That's soon, okay? More topped in later in July, some topped in September, some topped in October, November, and even December. However, most topped in April. I know because I was holding a lot of them, okay? So I have firsthand experience. And you can just go to CoinGecko, search for the token, and see what their previous all-time high was. So CryptoCon feels that their March will be the first cycle top. I tend to agree with that. We saw March 2024, huge jump, sideways consolidation for 6 months. It could come March or April time there. I'm certainly looking to be heavily out of the market by that time. And then he has the cycle top, or they have the cycle top at October 2025 using the projected halving date of March 27, 2028. So they're looking at the market top based on when the projected halving date and working backwards. So they've said March and October 2025. What do you think? All right, the next one that we're going to look at is there are 7 market indicators. This is a pretty good one because it gives a little bit of an overview there. NUPL, which is the net unrealized profit loss, is the difference between market cap and realized cap divided by market cap. And generally speaking, when it gets to 0.7, it's time to get out, run for the hills. They have a fear and greed, and also, although they can get to extreme greed, but I think if you see the extreme greed index, come in around those dates, you add it in with others. So I would say the Fear and Greed Index is another one. Market psychology, they have market seasonality, they have halving cycles, which we just saw, price technical analysis they have as well. But the ones that I want to look in here is probably the NUPL. That is an indicator that you can actually get on TradingView. I am actually going to do a show on how to set that up and track that. And then Fear and Greed Index is another one. But again, that's not a standalone one for me. I would think that that would be something where if I was looking at a bunch of them and the Fear and Greed Index is up there as well, that's something that you would put in. I would say that would be the same of market psychology, market seasonality, the halving cycles, although the last one did it based off the halving cycles there as well. Okay, and then we have Bitcoin priced in energy commodities, based on the energy commodities. And by the way, if my video is glitchy, it's because all my son's stuff is up from his birthday and it's messing with my videos seriously. And so it is going to be down at some point. But yeah, just so you know, that's why it's just crazy right now. Okay, so they think the market top's going to be in Bitcoin peaking around 130K. That seems low to me, but that's the data. And you can actually read this with Ted Boydstone. With T. Boydstone, he goes, I'm not going to go into all of it, but he breaks it down how it goes into, he lines it up with the energy, with the coal, oil, uranium, and natural gas. So that's an interesting take. That's not one of the metrics I'm going to be measuring, by the way, although I don't disagree that we could see the first market cycle top in March. I do believe we're going to see two. I do believe we're going to see two, that it's going to be March, April, or May. I'm leaning towards March, but because it was March and it was earlier, but maybe it's April, which tends to be the more logical one before the sell in May go away before the summer holidays. And then last cycle, it was in April, and then it went sideways. I went down for 2 months from April, May, June, bottomed in June, went sideways into July, pumped July to August, pumped August to September, dumped in September, and then pumped October, pumped November. Okay, so that's what happened in the last cycle, just to bring you up to date there. And then we have the next one, which is basically Bitcoin addresses. And this is a good one. Ionic XBT here, they talk about Bitcoin addresses, and this is something you can track online. And I am going to do a follow-up show, and I am going to add links in the resources section of my cheat sheet. They're not there yet, but I will be adding them because I don't think we're close to the top yet, although March, if it does end up being the top, is fairly close, but still a couple months away. So I will all be adding all this information to my cheat sheet and doing a follow-up show on this, on how to set up those indicators and where to find each one of those, because we're just not going to have time to pack all of that into the show today. Okay, the next one there is the Mayer multiple. And so this person is saying it doesn't really matter what month it is. It's when Bitcoin hits 168,500 or close to that, they are out. So now we have the Mayer multiple. So we have the halving cycles. We've got energy, the energy metric. We have, of course, the Bitcoin addresses. Now we've got the Mayer multiple. Have I missed one in there? I don't think I have. The NUPL. So we've got 5 there so far. NUPL and the Mayer multiple. Okay, I'm not going to go into the Mayer multiple. Again, this will come in a future show on where to find this and how it is and how to track this. Okay, the next one there, and of course, I'm sharing this so you can do all your own research too and find all of these things as well before I add it to the cheat sheet under the resources tab. This one is again based on the halving, peaking 480 days after halving. That brings us to about August. Okay, so that would be the August one. So that's another one based on halving, although the other one had it from halving backwards. So the first one that I showed you was halving backwards, had it in October. This is halving forwards based on the last halving date. That would land us in August. And the other one is doing it based on the other halving date going backwards. That has it in October. So that's fairly interesting there on that one. Okay, the next one that we have is going to be the pattern from the time it took from market bottom to market top, 1,065 days and 1,430. They're saying Ali Charts is saying that the market top will be in October 2025 based on that. So they've done it from market bottom to market top. These aren't my favorite ones. I'm going to show you what my favorite one is in the mode. One of my favorites is the Pi cycle top prediction. And there you have the glitter there in the background. That's my son's birthday party background. It's gone. So the Pi cycle, and I know this is a real big one that a lot of people like, has it for September of 2025, the current estimate. And this is where I'm going to give my prediction is September 2025. Possibly August, it gets front run because people think, we see it coming in September 25, we get out. Okay. So I'm actually thinking it is September 2025, but that might change because people might front run in fear and get out in August. Okay. What do you think? What month do you think Bitcoin's going to top out? Number one, what price do you think it's going to top out at, and which indicators are you using to come to that conclusion? That's what I want to see in the comments below. So the Pi cycle top. Now, I believe that the Pi cycle top wasn't completely accurate. It did have Bitcoin topping out in April. Oops. And then it actually topped out in November. But most altcoins topped out in April. So technically, you could call it the first market cycle top. So technically, it was accurate. And I do think we're going to see two market cycle tops. We're going to see one somewhere top out between March and May, and we're going to see a huge drop just like we saw in 2021, and we're going to have some real downside in May and June, and then we're going to have that recovery July, August, where we're then going to top out in August because people are going to front run it, or because usually September is Rectember, and it did dump last time September. Then I actually think what's going to happen in the September dump will actually be a lot of people are going to go, oh yeah, it's going to go high in October, November. It's going to end up being a dead cat bounce in October and November before we capitulate properly. So I do think the top is going to come in September, but possibly October. That's my prediction there. So the Pi cycle top is another one. There is an indicator that you can add to your TradingView charts, and you could also find it on a website as well. Again, I'm going to add all these details to my cheat sheet. Where can you find my cheat sheet? In the Discord. And those of you who aren't in the Discord, guess what? I have a little cheat code for how to get it. Go back to an earlier video in November. You'll find a link for it there. It's a live document at all times. Okay, we're almost there. We then got the RSI. When the RSI gets up into the 90s, okay? Now, funnily enough, in the last cycle, when did Bitcoin hit the 90s? In April. Okay? It didn't hit the 90s in November. So the RSI, and again here you can see this is another RSI here. When it gets up on the monthly, when you see it hit the 90s, that's probably a good time that I'm going to sell. This is one that I'm really going to watch, by the way. So the Pi cycle indicator and the monthly RSI are two that I'm really going to keep an eye on. And the last one, I've saved the best to last because this is the one that I'm going to look at the most. It is the MVRV score. And it has not reached the top price of the cycle. It reached a value of 3 at market tops in the past two cycles. It's currently at 2.14. But of course, this was back earlier in January before it dropped off a whole lot. So we're looking for it to get up to this level here, the MVRV up to this level here. And that's where you can see, and you can see it actually happened up around that. Looks like it happened around that. It didn't happen. It doesn't look like it happened, but it was still in that area come November. So this has been the most accurate because the monthly RSI at 90 topped in April. The Pi cycle that most people go, oh, it's the Pi cycle. Yeah, but that had you topping out in April, and that was wrong. That was the first top, but it didn't get the second top. This one got it. It got both tops because it hit into 3 in April and was still there in November. So it gave you an opportunity to take some profits off the table and de-risk, and then take the rest of the profits as you saw it coming down. That was the time to exit. So the MVRV, is it MVRV? Yes, MVRV score. And that is something I believe you can get on TradingView, but there's also a website where you can get that as well. Again, I'm going to be sharing it to the resource section there. So I think it's important as we come in now, as we close out January. Typically, it's been quite bullish as we start to close out January, usually by Super Bowl Sunday. Things are really starting to move or take off there. I am expecting Very bullish February and March. Just be careful. We could see that third cycle top in March, and people will be calling it the end. They will say, yes, I was right. That's the end of the bull market, but I don't believe it will. It could obviously happen in April. I think if it's May, that would really be surprising. I do think the March, April timeframe in there, for that. And then we go down for May and June, up to July and August, top in September, although maybe front run in August, and then a dead cat bounce in September into October. There's a dead cat bounce where it won't beat its high, and a lot of people go, oh yeah, it's going to top out October, November, but that will be the dead cat bounce. That's what's going to fake people out. Those are my predictions. What do you think about them? I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear your insight and your thoughts. Share that below in the comments. And as always, until the next episode, happy trading.